The artwork, Origin of the Birds, captures an ancient and almost mythological landscape, where the dark void of water carves its way through sun-baked cliffs. In the center of this scene, intricate hieroglyphic-like markings emerge from the depths, forming shapes that could be primordial birds, ancestral symbols, or the remnants of an ancient civilization. A delicate arc of water, or perhaps light, bridges across the divide, suggesting the moment of emergence, an evolutionary leap, or even a cosmic birth. At the top of the image, an Enso-like circle hovers over the land, containing the faint outline of what could be an embryo, an egg, or the first stirring of flight. Scattered orbs of light surround the composition, like messengers or echoes of the first birds breaking free from their terrestrial confines. There's a tension between the stillness of the rocky formations and the movement suggested in the water, air, and markings. As if history itself is unfurling in slow motion. Are these the first birds forming out of ancient symbols? Is this a tribute to the beginning of something grand, or a look into the ruins of an origin long forgotten? The piece carries both a scientific and mystical weight, blending evolution with creation myth. In Zen thought, the emergence of form from emptiness is a recurring theme. The dark waters of the painting contrast with the intricate figures forming within them, echoing the Buddhist idea that all things arise from sunyata, emptiness, the formless void from which existence manifests. This image reminds us of the Zen koan. What was your face before you were born? It asks us to contemplate origins, not in a factual or linear way, but in the realm of direct experience. Before birds were birds, before they took flight, what were they? Where does the self begin? The painting suggests that form is always shifting, always emerging from the unknown, much like thought and consciousness. The circle in the sky, reminiscent of an Enso, represents completeness and unity. If this is the birth of flight, it is also a return to something already whole. The birds did not come from somewhere. They were always part of the great cycle. This composition resonates with hexagram 49, GE, revolution, the shedding of the old and the emergence of something new. The depiction of birds emerging from ancient forms suggests transformation, a great turning point in nature's history. Another relevant hexagram is hexagram 1, Qian, the creative, symbolizing the power of the sky, initiation, and movement. Birds have long represented freedom, ascension, and divine connection, and this image speaks to the very first act of creative motion, the rise from earth to air. The I Ching reminds us that change is not chaotic, but follows a natural order. Just as birds were destined to take flight, all things evolve in their time, guided by unseen forces. Lao Tzu teaches that all things return to the source, and yet the source is unknowable. The painting captures this paradox. It depicts an origin, yet the origin itself seems nebulous, a fusion of past and future. The dark water symbolizes the Tao, the great mystery from which all things emerge. Birds, as creatures that traverse both land and sky, are perfect symbols of balance, yin and yang, stillness and motion. Their ability to ascend is not an act of defiance, but of flow. They do not resist the Tao, they move with it. Lao Tzu would say, "A bird does not force itself to fly, it simply spreads its wings." From a secular Buddhist perspective, this painting speaks to the deep existential need for origins. Humans have always sought to define beginnings, whether through science, mythology, or spiritual inquiry. But this perspective reminds us that the origin is not as important as what we do with it. The painting could represent the moment of awakening, when something unconscious becomes conscious, when a realization takes flight. The past does not matter as much as the realization itself. It also reflects the impermanence of knowledge. The hieroglyphic birds, once clear, now fade into abstraction. What we believe to be true today will one day be as mysterious as these markings. That is the nature of understanding. It is always evolving. We often speak about tapping into a deeper creative source, one that is beyond logic, beyond intention. This painting embodies that creative spark, the moment when something unformed begins to take shape. We say that the artist is channeling something primordial, something older than words. The emergence of the birds from the deep could be likened to the way a song or idea surfaces in the mind. It does not come fully formed. It rises through layers of mystery, through subconscious marks and symbols. To create is to engage with this great unknown. Just as birds once learned to fly, artists must learn to trust their own instincts, to take that first step off the ledge, even when they do not yet know how to soar. The origin of the birds is more than just a depiction of prehistoric evolution. It is a meditation on emergence, transformation, and the deep, unseen forces that shape existence. It captures the liminal space between what was and what will be, between what is known and what is felt. It asks us to consider our own origins, not in a biological sense, but in a spiritual and creative sense. Where did we begin? Not just in birth, but in thought, in expression, in understanding. At what point do we take flight? The painting is a portal, an invitation to witness not just the birth of birds, but the birth of all things. Think of something in your life that is just beginning, a new habit, a creative project, a shift in perspective. Consider its origin. What does it feel like in its early, unformed state? Find a quiet moment and look at the sky. Watch the birds. Consider how effortlessly they move, how naturally they embrace their nature. Ask yourself, what is my flight? What am I meant to rise into?